10 Ways to Counter Zim Players. This is Grandmaster Exorcist. I've tested the Zim, I've teamed up with Zim players, and I have defeated Zim players. The device isn't cheating or overpowered in most games. You can beat Zim players easily. Here are 10 ways to do that. Number 10, buy a Zim. Hold on, don't close the web browser. Let's say you can't use the latter 9 options to defeat an enemy Zim player. Well, it's fair to say, if you can't beat them, join them. Number 9, spend more time practicing with a controller. Controllers aren't hard to use. The best console players in the world, who even play those same games on PC because the esports environment has transitioned to the latter platform, Call of Duty in particular, have all started with the left and right sticks. They have spent more time with a controller than the average player has even been alive. As a result, they will always be good at what they do. Practice makes everybody get that much closer to perfection. Number 8, buy a 1 millisecond response time display, or lower. On console, frames don't win you games because most games are capped at 60 FPS. Response time is a different, yet more important variable for that platform. The display I use today is one I purchased because of its record-setting low response time, even though I've used it for 3 years and lower response time displays exist now, I'm still happy with my investment. Low response time displays come in clutch. Number 7, invest in good quality audio gear. I use an amp and a pair of Audio-Tech M50X and they help me outgun aimbotters and wall hackers in Roblox Phantom Forces, but that doesn't mean audio in console games is worse. In fact, audio on console is about the same as audio on PC, but the methods of receiving it on your end will factor into how you perform in games, period. Number 6, learn everything you can from the games you're playing. There are keys to victory in every game, they are not basic like the flintlock pistol duels of the 18th and 19th centuries. There is a skill aspect to every game you play, and depending on how much you know about that game, into which you can turn into actions, you will make playmaker quality strategies in comparison to your Zim using opponent or opponents who only think about how easier it is to aim. Burn. Rainbow Six Zim players, burn. Number 5, center your crosshairs. Aim assist works better at lower sensitivity, and lower sensitivities allow you to accurately stick your aim assist to an enemy player, but in order to maximize the effectiveness of that aim assist, you need to have the enemy player inside your crosshairs before pulling the trigger. Number 4, learn the movement mechanics. Movement is key, every game has its movement quirks. Black Ops 3 has wall running and boost jumping, but you can also get a boost from sliding over an edge, you can also jump across the wall while wall running to increase your speed. That is one example of a game where you can use its movement mechanics to gain the edge on an opponent. It's also handy to learn the claw grip, that is not difficult if you have a hand as big as mine. Number 3, invest in a good quality controller. I have a Zim Apex, but I don't use it in PvP. Instead I use my collection of controllers, most of them are scuffs. Sometimes it's nice to use a standard controller once in a while, or if I want to make the game a little bit more difficult. Buy a controller with paddles or extra buttons, they are called pro controllers for a reason. Number 2, wirelessly play with a wired controller. What the fuck are you talking about, Exorcist? I'm talking about reducing all input latency. Zim devices rely on USB splitters, and even though the new Matrix obviously has the lowest input latency of all of the previous Zim devices, the latency of a controller will always be lower than a mouse and keyboard. Wireless connectivity has been a feature since the Xbox 360, and although wireless controllers have infamously terrible battery life, You can also plug it in while playing wirelessly. I don't have any tutorials on this channel about how to do that, but you can find them online. Number 1, be a good teammate. Whether you're playing in a party of other players, or playing with randoms, feedback and callouts will lead you to victory. Most players who use mouse and keyboard adapters like the Zim, have a tendency to act like a lone wolf. They think they can take on the whole goddamn lobby, and they are only successful at that if the enemy team lacks coordination and communication. If everybody on your team knows what they are doing, and you're listening to each other's callouts, you'll have the advantage that most Zim players ignore. Thanks for watching the third and final chapter of my Zim series of videos. I'm planning on releasing a video explaining why crossplay is cheating, and why PC and console players have reasons to hate each other. Grandmaster Exorcist says hate me.